good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're seeing this. Today I got a video for y'all. Your partner is either your downfall or your support. And I got a little checklist over here, that's why I'm looking over here. But I really, honestly, I've always wanted to create a channel and I've done it a couple times. And I don't know, it just, the things that I talk about on the channel are never really things that I want to talk about. It may be part of my life, but it's not something I want to talk about, either because I don't think it really adds value to the world, or just because it comes off boastful, or whatever the case may be. But this is, I really want to stay true to myself. And I've really been noticing that there's nothing more important. Excuse me, I'm a little sick, but we got to get it out, right? There's nothing more important than being true to yourself, because the less true you are to yourself, the less happy you will be. And I've noticed that, over time I've started being less true to myself, and that's kind of why we're here. So, today I want to talk about time, energy, emotions, and how that plays into your relationships, your family members. And this doesn't even have to do with women or men, if you're, whatever, right? A female watching this, whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be like that, because the truth is, right, is that no matter what, you're going to be giving time, energy, and emotion to, everybody. Whether it's negative emotion, whether it's negative energy, time is, regardless of what type of time you give them, you're giving them time. And time is the most important thing, right? So, in the most recent experience, I've really wanted to come out and speak on this video because, of how I've been, perceiving this topic. And, I really want to get the bottom line down. There's two types of partners in this world. There's two types of family members. There's two types of people, really. There's the people that will, either bring your emotions down, or not emotions, bring you down or bring you up. There's no person that can just keep you in the middle, because complacency is sort of a move down, right? And so basically, right, we're going to start with time, because I really want to, get this nailed down in first before we talk about energy and emotions, because emotions build over time, and energy, it's a topic on its own, but I feel like time is the most important, right? And so basically, the time that you give to people needs to be thought out. You cannot just be giving time to anybody and just doing whatever, whenever, how you want to do it. And I've really been thinking about this and how I've been leading my life and giving out my time. Overall, I've been in a less, how do I say it? Just not really feeling like some of the things I do are something that I truly wanted to do. I've always lived life doing what I want to do. And recently I feel like I haven't really been doing that to the best of my ability. When, I've still been doing that, but not as well as I should be, because really time is the most important thing, and you have to be able to protect that. So when it comes to relationships, right? Let's say you go out with a girl, right? And for these people that, they got rosters and all that, we're gonna get an example. We got, I don't know, Justin Timberlake. I don't know. We got Justin, right? You know what I'm saying? And he's got 6 girls lined up. You know what I'm saying? If you got, let's say you're Justin, right? You got 6 girls you got to pay attention to, right? And you got to give them your time. Where's the time for yourself? And this is where the downfall or support comes in, right? Because that was an extreme example, but the more time you give to somebody else, the less time you have for yourself. You only get 24 hours in a day, all right? If you give 1 hour out of those 24 hours to somebody, you now have 23, right? Obviously, some people sleep 8 hours, you know what I mean? So how many do you really have? I'm not really interested in the mathematics, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to get across here is the fact that what you give out, you don't get back. right? They're giving you time as well, but you're not getting time back. Both of y'all, if you're not happy with what's going on, you're both wasting time, right? It's not something that you benefit from, right? But anyway, let's go over the downfall first and how your partner could really fuck you over. Every single day that you go through this world, you should have a routine. And I don't mean like wake up 5:30 in the morning, this and this and that. You should have a routine and a system that lets you understand what it is that you might need to accomplish in a day, what it is that you have going for yourself. What are you going for, right? Because this will essentially cut out so much extra fluff and garbage. It doesn't have to be garbage, but so much fluff in your life, right? Whether it be just, hanging out with people you don't want to hang out with, or whether it be whatever the case it is, right? You will cut out so much extra stuff if you were to just like create yourself a routine, a program, something where you say, I got to get this done, right? And let's say you got to read a chapter of a book, right? Let's say that's what you have to do. You cannot do anything if you have not read those pages in that book for today, right? That's essentially how you create your system. Let's say you have to go to the gym. Let's say you have to go to work. Let's say you have, your own craft to work on and you got to read, right? Let's say those 4 things are the 4 things you got to get done every single day, right? Besides maybe Saturday, Sunday, you don't work, right? A lot of people are not used to having relationships with other people, whether it be a man or a female, which is the most common way of explaining this, right? And so they will sacrifice their time in putting in work on their craft. They might even drop the gym. A lot of those people drop the gym. Have you ever seen a married couple fat and they show you a picture, of them when they were younger? Right. So now all they do is work and, read or whatever. You are actively getting worse over time, right? And it's not necessarily like you're plummeting to your doom. But if your old self was up here, why would you want to eventually come down to here? It doesn't make sense, right? And so my point being, right, if you're sacrificing your time for somebody else, first of all, they're not gonna like you anymore, right? Because you're changing who you are. They're not gonna all of a sudden be like, oh my God, he's so sweet. He's making time for me. That's not what happens. That's literally the last thing in somebody's mind. What they're actually thinking is, holy shit, this boy done got fat. Like, he's getting fat. He's not going to the gym anymore. He's not passionate about anything. He's just going through life. That's not attractive. That's not sexy. All right? That's not anything that you want to be proud of, giving more time to someone. You become a yes man. Now, how could this be, supportive? How could your partner support you, when it comes to time? If it's all negative. Yes, you always lose time, but it doesn't always have to be a loss. It could be spending time, right? Let's say you and your partner sit down and y'all start talking about business ideas and actually get somewhere. And it doesn't even have to be business ideas. It could be business ideas, constructive conversation of any sort, really. Constructive conversation and constructive actions together. That is good time. And that leads to energy, but we'll get to that, right? The time that you spend with your partner, if it is constructive, if it is valuable, if it adds to your life without taking away from your routine, without taking away from your betterment, that is how another person can make you better. That is how another person can push you to be better. And we're going to get into energy here because I feel like I can't expand on this anymore unless I talk about energy. There's a vibration. There's not a good way that I can explain this, but there's a vibrational field, or how do I say this? There's a chart of vibrations, right? You could either be low vibrational or you could be high vibrational. And that relates to energy. You could either be low energy, high energy, right? And what comes with those energies is you're either, exhausting to be around, you hate your life, you don't like being around people, you don't like what you do. Basically, everything that you see around you sucks. You give off a low vibration. Excuse me, let me check. You give off a low vibration, right? And then on the other end of the spectrum, sure, there's in between, right? But on the other end of the spectrum, right, you love life. You see things not as they are, essentially. You see things as they are, how they could, maybe, for example, somebody that's low vibrational will say, damn, I can't believe my car just broke down. Like, man, I hate this. Like, I hate life. Why is this happening to me? I can't understand why this and this and that. A person of high energy, high vibration will be like, damn, my car broke down. And sure, there will be those feelings of like, man, fuck, my car just broke down. But you'll be like, okay, their first thought isn't going to be, damn, fuck life. Their first thought is going to be, how could we get out of this? What is there to do? And then after that situation, they'll be like, what was there to learn from that? So that maybe that doesn't happen again. That low vibrational person, maybe they forgot to put coolant in their car. They completely forgot about the fact that they forgot about putting the coolant in. They're gonna keep repeating that same mistake just because they're not focused on the issue and solving it. They're just rushing through life, going through the motions. A person of high energy, high understanding, high vibration, they're gonna, look back at that moment and be like, what was there to learn? And that's why I say looking at things as how they are. They're going to be like, okay, so I clearly forgot to put coolant in the car. And next time we're going to just have to learn from that lesson, this and this and that. How does this relate to a partner, right? If your partner is causing your energy to go down, let's say you come home, right? Let's say y'all married. Fuck it. Let's say y'all married, right? And you come home every single day after a long shift, and your wife, right, is talking about oh my God, you coming home this late, like you're always doing this and this and this and that, and why are you always this? Whole time you paying for everything, regardless. The point is, she's bringing a lower energy. She's not talking to you. She's not adding any value or raising your energy, but she's actually bringing it down. And how could this actually affect you? Well, one, you might take in this energy because energy is almost like what's the word? Contagious? What's the word? It sticks onto you, all right? The energy sticks onto you. So if somebody's like moping around and sad as shit, you're going to start moping around a little more. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you with this person every single day, like your wife. Yeah, you definitely not getting away from that shit. So let's say she's just low vibrational. She's very, rude and mopey and, oh, life sucks. Let's say before you married her, you were, like I said before, you had your routine, right? Now, all of a sudden, you come home from work, you're exhausted just because you heard her voice and her presence made you exhausted. That happens in a lot of marriages, and that's why they end up getting divorced and they start hating on each other and all this and all that. People get divorced, they start hating their life, they get fat, people kill themselves, suicide. There's stats on that to look up for sure. You know what I mean? If you really wanted to do the actual statistics for sure. And honestly, maybe most definitely I would like to come more prepared for these videos so I can have really like a more a full-fledged, explanation with actual articles and all of that. That way I can really, get deep on y'all. But pause. Pause. But my point being that could really affect you in a negative way because you're not aspiring to be better. You're not even focused on the fact that you could be better because you're so drained from this person, sucking your energy out or attaching theirs to yours, right? And that's a way that, you could get dragged down by your partner. Now, if your partner's energy is uplifting, right? And every time you come home, it's greatness, right? And we're just speaking from a male perspective of this guy, this, random guy. We don't know this guy. This guy is not a person. But let's say he comes home to his wife, right? And she brings a good energy. Oh, how was work? This and this and that. This, and not really saying, it's not really about saying, oh, you should get this done or you should do this or you should do that. It's more about the energy that you bring, the high vibration, the things you say correlate to thoughts, right? They say that thoughts lead to actions. So if someone's saying something because of their thoughts and they're positive, those things that they say enter your brain, which give you thoughts and make you do action. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me say that one more time. A person may say something that came from their brain, which was a thought, right? The action was them talking. So they thought of something. The action was they spoke. Once they spoke, it entered your brain. You began thinking about what they said. And now you're creating action because of what somebody said that made you think. You're going to have to watch that back if you didn't get it. Point being, that's how energy is transferred because thoughts lead to actions. Regardless of how you want to put it, what you think is what you will do, right? I thought about making a YouTube video today. Here I am. If I think this video sucks and I think, wow, no one's going to like this, this is so lame, like this and this and that, I may make this video right now, but I may not post it just because, oh, what if somebody says this? And I'm telling you right now, and I'm saying this in the video, this will get posted. I don't give a fuck. This will get posted. You know why? Because I feel like saying it. I feel like it will help somebody. It's helped me, just even saying it. So, case point, right? But basically, this energy, right, that this lady brings to the table, right, or your partner will bring to the table, if it's positive, it will make you want to do more. Because those positive thoughts, those things that she may say, that energy that she gives, right? And we're speaking from, the male perspective because I'm a man, right? This will enter your mind and make you do other things. For example, she may say, oh, she's trying to get another job and this and that and save more money and, constructive thoughts. And you may think, okay, well, I need to get on my shit because this girl really think about this and this and that, and I'm really not here doing what I need to do and this and I'm trying to get to this point and she's trying to get to this point, but I'm not really there. Now you're thinking about, okay, how could I increase my income? Just by her saying she wanted another job so she could save more money, you're now thinking about how could you increase your income. Do you see how that correlates? Now, a lot of people are the problem. A lot of people, like, for example, this guy could be the energy drainer. She's talking about something constructive, and he goes, man, that shit sound like too much work. Now, he said, that shit sound like too much work. This girl's going like, damn, that does sound like a lot of work. She won't do it. So this is why, a partner could either be your downfall or your support. Because whether it's time or energy, they could either take from you, and it always revolves around taking and giving, right? They could either take your time in a poor way and you may, and this will always be your fault because you have to be accountable for yourself. This is not about blaming another person, right? This is not about blaming anybody. This is not about saying that what you did is somebody else's fault. You didn't stick to your routine. You didn't give yourself the time. You didn't give yourself that respect you need. You didn't protect your energy, right? So it's not like we're sitting here blaming anybody. That's not the case. But the truth is that this could really happen to you. Time could be taken from you if you're not really focused on it, right? And this is why I want to come out here and make videos like this, go through my mistakes and give them to you so you could avoid, learn, because whatever my age may be, I still go through life the same way everyone else does. So my mistakes, even though maybe I might have gone through them earlier in life, right? Somebody might be 30, still hasn't, even had a relationship yet. You know what I mean? And maybe they're scared because of these things, right? So that's really what I'm here for. And, I've said enough about energy because, to be honest with you, we're going to make this nice and short because I want to go in depth on these topics, in later videos. But emotions, emotions really tie into time and energy. This is like a combination of both. But, a lot of people, they're going to use emotions against you. And this is what it is. This is how you need to look at yourself, and this is how you become a strong man. Or a strong person, period. This is how you become a strong person, is by controlling your emotions. People will use emotions against you because they know that you may be weak or not necessarily immune, but like people know your weaknesses, especially the longer time goes on, the longer they know you, the more they've infiltrated your energy, the more they've, mingled with you. People are going to know what pushes your buttons. People are going to know you more. People are going to know your, your routine, right? And they will play on this to mess with your emotions. Now, if your emotions are messed up, what's happening? Your energy is going down because you're either jealous, you're thinking about, oh, what is she doing, this and that, or oh, I'm sad because she's telling me this and I ain't really want to hear this, right? Anyway, point being, right? The reason that emotions could really be the downfall of you, through your partner, is because, think about it. How many relationships, have domestic violence problems? Do you think domestic violence is just people it's literally about emotions. It's getting mad. Domestic violence is an emotional crime, right? You're going through something and you get so emotional you hit your partner, right? And so your partner could manipulate you. Control your emotions. Even use sex as a weapon. They could even say, you're not getting this if you don't do this. Many ways that you could be controlled through emotion, right? And so let's say, right, that let's say you're having a good day, right? And your girl call you up, or maybe she comes over, y'all having a good time, and she wants some food, right? She wants some food. And you say, listen, I don't really got it like that right now. I'm trying to, work on this and that, and I've been thinking about, and you trying to bring up the energy, right? She goes, man, I don't care. Like, I'm hungry. Like, if you don't give me food, I'm leaving your ass. Like, I'm gonna go dip right now and get some food somewhere else. Like, I'm not playing with you. And now you're emotionally distressed because, and this is if you're not, emotionally strong, right? If you're, more likely to succumb to manipulation like this. I'm leaving you this and this and that because I'm hungry, and she may not even be saying leaving you for real, but she's gonna leave you and go get food. Maybe she even says, I know somebody that will get me food. You just got controlled into doing something. Let's say you do it. You just got controlled into doing something you didn't want to do. Now, why does this matter? Because it doesn't have to be as simple as food, and it's almost never as simple as food, right? Let's say you're working on yourself, right? And we're gonna go back to time here in a second. You're working on yourself. You're working. Let's say you're working, right? Let's say you're just working. Yo, baby, you know, I need you to come over because I'm really feeling like this and this and that. You say, nah, I can't. Sorry, I'm busy. I'll hit you up later though. Oh, you always this and that. Oh, playing on your emotions. You never come over. You know what? I'm just gonna go call my friend. This and that. I'm gonna go out with my friends and we're gonna go to the. So now what? You at work. Your work. I mean, it could even be let's say you just a 9 to 5 worker. Simple. You really don't got much going on, right? Now you're not doing your job as well. Your manager talk about some, yo, what the hell are you doing, bro? You just forgot to do this and this and that. Yo, you closed the store down and you missing like this whole checklist. Oh shit. Now you get fired because you wasn't thinking about the job because you just got emotionally controlled, whether you were able to go or not, right? Now, support. This is where now energy is more important. Energy and time are more important than emotions, in my opinion. But this is where someone could really make a positive impact on your life, because relationships, I mean, they're mostly controlled by emotion, right? I mean, not controlled by emotion, but you stick with someone more likely because of they bring positive emotion, whether that be through the time that y'all are together, it's positive, or the energy that she brings is super sweet and charming, right? Or maybe whatever the case may be, right? And so this is where you really want to form a connection with somebody, right? It's through emotion. Emotions, your partner could really elevate the way you move. Your partner could really elevate your energy, the way you spend time, because she's not pulling on your emotional strength. She's not trying to manipulate you. In my opinion, emotions, what I believe is emotions, they could either be manipulated or they could be understood. A good partner will understand what you're feeling. Listen to what you're feeling, because everybody feels, regardless of what people say, regardless of how much you want to hide it. Oh, I'm an alpha male, this and this and that. I fuck bitches in the club, Everybody got emotions, all right? Everybody. So when you express concern or you express boundaries, which, by the way, that's like one of the most important things, like expressing boundaries. But let's continue. You express boundaries, and these boundaries are created because of negative emotions, right? You don't want your girl going out at night, whatever, this and this and that, because you feel like it causes your relationship to be unsafe, or you feel like she would be unsafe, whatever the case may be, right? You're feeling, right? Simple. A good partner will always listen. I mean, obviously, if it makes sense, right? I mean, you can't just say some stupid shit and be controlling, and they'll be like, oh yeah, of course. You know what I mean? But emotions, your partner, a good partner will understand what it is that you're saying, or at least try to understand, and you guys will come together and make sure you guys feel secure, because there's nothing more attractive than safety. Trust, safety, trust, all those things. Everything that leads to somebody feeling secure. Because when it comes out, right? When jealousy comes out and lack of trust comes out, it's never pretty. You don't want to look at your partner and be like, oh my God, like this bitch cheating on me, like this and this and that. You don't want to, like, your girl doesn't want to hear that. You don't want to think about that. Like, that's not sexy at all. That's not uplifting. That's not positive at all. So when you can make your partner feel safe, heard, listened to, trusting, you're trusting, that is when it can be to your support, because it's something, they bring positive energy. This is really the holding, the bond, right? Because they bring positive energy. The time you spend is valuable, and they, listen to your emotions and keep you trusting them, or let's say you keep them trusting you, right? And so they feel secure. That is how you can be the support, because you're adding value without the emotional turmoil. Because you could add value and add negative emotional, stimuli, right? Emotional turmoil, and people will leave you, because that's one of the most strongest feelings in the body. When you feel sad, you feel sad. When you feel horny, you feel horny. When you feel mad, you feel mad. There's no like it's some science stuff. I'm not really like super into that. I will start looking into that so I can really break this down in later videos. But if you are having a negative emotional impact on another person, they will not want to be with you. And so that's why it's like the bond, the glue, right? Excuse the washing machine. You bring positive emotions, a good energy, and positive time. You will be able to support your partner, and your partner will support you by doing the same, right? Now you could look at these three things and spot them out and be like, okay, well, this girl is trying to waste my time. She's just trying to get money out of me. Oh, she's kind of like an energy vampire. She's trying to drain me, this and this and that. She plays on my emotions a lot. She's manipulative. These are just some of the things that you could look at and recognize whether your partner is valuable to you or not. And one last thing I'm going to say is that specifically for women, well, more specifically for men, and to watch out for this, but a lot of women don't have a lot of self-respect. Not all women, but some women do not have like the self-respect to just. Some women don't have self-respect, and they will use sex as a weapon to get something from you, because a lot of men are incredibly weak. They're not capable of abstinence. They're not capable of putting pleasure to the side for clarity. And so a lot of women see this, and this is why the porn industry, hookers, escorts, all of that is so common and popular in today's culture, because it's such a profitable business, because men are so weak. Do not let anyone manipulate you. And this is one of the most important things that I want to get across through this video, because you could get all of these down and she could still be fucking with you on a very small level, because she's holding that against you. And that's specifically for men, because men are weaker to, wanting that, right? The pleasure, right? And so I want to leave y'all with that. Keep those things in mind. Really evaluate people before you really bring them into your circle. Be protective of your energy. Be protective of your time. And I had to come out of here and say this, because I feel like overall, me as a person, I haven't really been who I used to be. I used to protect my time. I used to protect my energy. I used to, make sure I was emotionally sound and emotionally focused, and not really letting outside sources, dictate what I'm thinking and feeling. So I hope to see y'all again. I will see y'all again. Hope this was helpful. if anybody sees this, which people will see this because I really believe it's valuable, let me know if there's anything in this video that you want more in depth. The time, the energy, the emotions, more stuff will come out for sure. But specifically on this level of thinking is how I'm trying to stay. I feel like my level of thinking has lowered. Less of a deep thinker, and I don't really know why, and I have to, really look back in that. And when I have the answer, I will most definitely come to y'all and, help y'all avoid that mistake as well. But like I said, good morning, good evening, good night. Peace.